Fonzie. It's Patsy. It's Ralph Mouth. It's the whole gang. It's Happy Days. Join the antics of the Cunningham family in Milwaukee. Drew Brees, please. Just in time, bailing us out. Thank you, number 9. Another 2-minute drill, pulling out the touchdown, the victory. A Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Did I say yeah, you right? Did I mention that it's Friday? The weekend is upon us. Bayou Boogaloo cranking up in about 30 minutes. They'll do it again tomorrow. They'll do it again Sunday. Next weekend, it's Greek Fest for what, like the 40-somethingth year? The original festival on the Bayou, Greek Fest. I think the week after that is Tomato Festival. The hits keep coming. Festival City, USA. How about Festival City, Planet Earth, New Orleans? The Music City, the Food City. The city that care forgot and the city that forgot to care. All wrapped up in one. Yeah, I got 2 big hours coming your way on the radio. Thanks for finding us. Spread the word. Tell your friends and family about Oh So Fine 93.9 FM. Oh So Fine 93.9 FM. You can also check us out every weekday afternoon starting at 4 p.m. on New Orleans' own 107.9 FM. 107.9 FM. Heading towards Baton Rouge, heading up the I-12, across the I-12, the north part of the city, beelining into southern Mississippi, southern Alabama, even the panhandle of Florida. Check us out at 600 a.m., starting at 4 p.m. weekdays. 600 a.m. Sneaky little powerful a.m. signal there at 600 a.m. KaareTalks.com live streaming on our website. Kaare spelled K-A-A-R-E. KaareTalks.com. We're on YouTube. Just go to the search bar on YouTube. Corey Johnson, Neutral Ground. Kaboom goes the dynamite. Go to YouTube. Go to the search bar. Neutral Ground. Corey Johnson. I'm right there every day live. Yesterday's program, last week's program, last month's, whatever you'd like to check out. On YouTube, Corey Johnson, Neutral Ground. Hey, the first 90 minutes of the 2-hour talk radio program on television. Right now, we're on TV all over the state of Louisiana. If you subscribe to Cox Television, I'm on Cox Channel 4 right now, 4 to 5:30, 90 minutes of fun, statewide, New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and beyond. You charter television subscribers in Louisiana, a.k.a. Spectrum TV. Check me out, 4 to 5:30 weekdays, 90 minutes of fun, Spectrum Channel 333. That would be in Slidell, in Covington, Mandeville. Not only Trey Yen country, but home of the 5th local area Woodhouse Day Spa location, their newest, opening about a month ago in Mandeville. Spectrum Channel 333 in Hammond, Houma, Thibodaux, Opelousas, all over the state. Yeah, you right. I did mention it's Friday, a Fantasy Friday. Our Humane May fundraiser continues. We're about 2/3 of the way through the month now. About 2/3 of the way through the month already. And we've raised about 1/3 of the money. We are way behind. $3,000 something raised, a $10,000 goal. Got right under $7,000 we've got to come up with to hit that goal. But we've only got 1/3 of the time left. Please go to the website, humanela.org, and donate right now, $10, $20. Let's get this thing over the top. Let's save some cats and dogs, kittens and puppies, goats, horses. Save animals. That's right. There's old blue boy. That's right, buddy. I know. You heard me talking about Humane May fundraiser. Such a sweet blue boy. humanela.org. Yeah, treat these animals humanely. Don't have animals suffer in Louisiana. Don't look the other way. Do your part, because Jeff Dorson and the Humane Society of Louisiana, they do their part 24/7, 365, literally, nonstop, never taking a break. HumaneLA.org. Go to the website and donate. Let's hit our goal of $10,000, our Humane May fundraiser. HumaneLA.org. 88 degrees out there. Feels like 93, 94. Uh-oh. That's the third day this week. Monday, Tuesday, now today, where we've hit such a high number in the 80s, coupled with that high humidity number, where that feels like gimmick goes over 90. Now, we have yet to hit 90 on the thermometer in 2023 in Louisiana, but it is inevitable. Close today, close right now at 88 degrees. But humidity is also like 75, 80%. When you have those two things like that, that's trouble. Feels like mid-90s right now outside. And soon it will literally be mid-90s. Feels like 104. That's coming. That's a 10-degree increase in temperature. And it's coming. It's called summer, New Orleans, the 2023 version. We're right on the brink of it. We're about to walk through that doorway into that, about a 5-month period? We don't get out of that at best case scenario. Best case, late September, first week of October. It's really a almost mid-October, late October type of thing. So yeah, summer, heat, and humidity. We're right on it. It's coming. Bayou Boogaloo. Float in the old inner tube in the bayou. Bayou Boogaloo getting cranked up in about 15 minutes. Yeah, they go to like 9, 10, 11 o'clock over on the bayou. They'll crank it up tomorrow, I think a little after noon every day. Today, 4:30. Tomorrow and Sunday, I think they open the gates maybe around noon. Things get started around 12:30 as far as music, bands, and the like. Hey, the 4 o'clock hour this afternoon on a Friday, brought to you by Lebanon's Cafe. Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn in Uptown. Now, the weather we're having right now is pretty hot, but by 7:30 when the sun goes down, get a nice breeze blowing. You're under the green awning. You're under the oak trees, right on the streetcar line. I think you can still pull off outdoor dining. I did it the other night. Outdoor dining tonight at Lebanon's Cafe. Dine inside. Air-conditioned dining room. Get a to-go order. Some of the finest Middle Eastern food in Metro New Orleans, including shish kebab. And check this out. 6 lamb chops with a grilled veggie medley. And then you still get to pick 2 Middle Eastern sides, 20-something bucks. Best lamb chop deal in the city at Lebanon's Cafe. Carrollton at Jeanette. Open till 9:30. Over the weekend, 11 a.m. till 9:30. Open all day long. I like that, where you can roll in at 2, 2:30, 4 p.m., whatever. Lebanon's Cafe, Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn. Boy, yesterday we had Ed Michelle on. The talk of the town, these tires and rim upgrades to these police vehicles. 16 vehicles. $42,000 in rim and tire upgrades, arguably a downgrade. You had the heavy-duty police package rims and tires. Now a more fashionable rim that will get beat up on the city streets for sure. Scuffed, cut up, just look nasty quickly. And then inferior tires that have a better ride. It's just mind-blowing. Craziest stuff I've ever heard. It's good to have an office of inspector general, isn't it? Some things are big. Some things are so big they're criminal. This might be one of them. You figure you had 16 vehicles, at least 4 tires, if not 5 each, the spare. Where did 16 vehicles times 4 is 64. Another 16's 80. 5 times 16's 80. Where are the at least 64, if not 80 tires and rims that were originally on those vehicles? Because if they were just taken, that's theft. So it's going to be interesting what this investigation leads to. Hey, when we come back, oh no, oh yeah, Fletcher Mackel from Channel 6, don't move.
Our Humane May fundraiser is going on right now. In the month of May, we're trying to raise $10,000 for the Humane Society of Louisiana. Donate right now at humanela.org.
Did you know Rouse's sells only Angus beef? Angus beef's natural marbling means more succulence and flavor. Whether you choose Rouse's USDA Prime, Choice, or Select, it'll be only Angus beef when you get it at Rouse's. Tastes like home.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets has daily lunch specials Monday through Friday, and their entire lunch menu is available too. Open 11 a.m. through 2:30 p.m. For the finest in Sicilian and Italian cuisine, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations, New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
5 generations, family-owned and operated, Leidenheimer French bread.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
Which Metro New Orleans area restaurant made CNN's top 50 in America and ThrillList.com's top 25 and has served presidents at the White House for over 40 years? Trey Yen in Mandeville.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool, New Orleans. NOLAAC.com is your cool spot.
Being a part of people's lives, from an engagement ring to a wedding band. Before you know it, the wedding day is here and groom and bride are exchanging gifts on that day. And not too long after that, there's baby gifts to have. And I just enjoy being part of other people's family, saying, Mr. Friend did my engagement ring and he did my mom and dad's engagement ring. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
The next few days are going to be really nice. Knock out that paint project at the house. Helm Paint and Decorating's got you covered. 7 locations in Metro New Orleans, East Bank, West Bank, North Shore. Plus, free 2-hour delivery anywhere in Metro New Orleans. When you got to paint in the city, do it once, do it right. They'll steer you in the right direction. They've been doing it over 50 years. Helm Paint and Decorating. As New Orleans as that Fletcher Mackel kid from Channel 6 WDSU Sports. What's up, Fletch?
Not a lot, Corey. How are you?
Doing well, man. SOS, same old stuff.
Beautiful. I'm out on the bayou right now for Bayou Boogaloo.
Nice. How far? You're right near there? You're like on the what side of Orleans are you on? The Bayou Boogaloo side or the City Park side of Orleans?
So I am on the Bayou Boogaloo side of it. My house is actually in the footprint.
Oh, really? Of Bayou Boogaloo?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're what, about a block off the bayou, something like that. Hey, now, this thing's cranking up what, in about 5 or 10 minutes, huh?
It started 4 o'clock. So 4 o'clock today until like 10. And then tomorrow, I think it's like 11 to 10.
What do you like Bayou Boogaloo?
I do. I've seen it grow a lot and change a lot, but I really do. I think it's a really well done festival.
You like it like you would go if it were out of the way, or do you like it maybe a little extra because it's, within a few blocks of your house?
Probably both. More that it's right in my backyard. But look, I go to Greek Fest every year because I grew up out there like you.
Yep.
And, that's about a 10-minute drive from my house. So I go to Greek Fest every year. So I would go to Bayou Boogaloo no matter what. But the fact that it's in my backyard makes it a little bit more accessible.
Yeah, Bayou Boogaloo. Next week, Greek Fest. After that, Tomato Fest. We just roll, huh?
Yeah, no, it's, starting about a month ago with French Quarter Fest, Zurich Classic, Jazz Fest. A lot of good stuff this time of year.
Hey, I saw the photo on Twitter of you, your brother, and your mommy for Mother's Day. One of you was just dressed casually, the other in a suit.
Well, look, it's brunch in the French Quarter. I'm wearing a collared shirt. I don't know if Travers needed the jacket, sports coat, and tie, but he went all in, and I went kind of dressy casual.
Did someone pay Travers to wear that coat?
No, I think that's like his Pelicans coat. Like, if he ever helps us out with any Pelican specials, which we haven't done because this year they weren't anything special, at least in the second half of the season, he usually wears that as like his gag jacket.
That's a good transition. NBA playoffs are rolling along. They continue tonight. Miami at Boston. Boy, Denver just seems like they're very tough to beat, just methodically getting the job done.
Yeah, look, here's the thing. Somebody tried to tell me the regular season doesn't matter. I think Denver's proven the regular season matters. Denver was the best team in basketball in the Western Conference. They've got a guy who was the reigning 2-time MVP who finished runner-up this year. Mike Malone's a great coach. They got a complete team. They've stayed injury-free, and they're showing why they're the superior team. Look, the Lakers, and LeBron's the greatest player of the generation. MJ, Kobe, LeBron. Those are the 3 waves, if you want to look in recent history, of the greatest players ever. And the Lakers have done some good things since the trade deadline. They ate a lot of crap for not putting a good team around LeBron. They put a good team around LeBron. It just may be too little too late. I think that they ran into a wrecking ball in Denver, and I think Denver's going to end up in the finals, and I think that's good. Denver's been really good the last few years. They've built a really good franchise there. Tim Connolly, their GM, was here for a long time. He's actually no longer in Denver. He left last year, but he was here in New Orleans, went to Denver, built a really good program there. Mike Malone's a really good coach. They drafted well. They've made smart trades. And I feel like Denver deserves to go to the finals, and I hope they do.
No, I think they will. They look like they are a lock for that. You would think Boston would be their opponent, but you can't count Miami out.
No, and look, that says I think in the end it's going to be Denver and Boston. Boston last year was in the finals. They finished second in the East this year, but they have so much talent. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are so good. They have so much depth. But the thing about Miami is Jimmy Butler is just a dude. When you talk about somebody who impacts winning and gets it done,
yep,
that's Jimmy Butler. And I will argue against anybody that Eric Spoelstra is the best coach in the NBA. Like, not a doubt in my mind, and he's in a class by himself. That, like, I know what Greg Popovich has done, and I respect that. But, like, I love Stone. And Pat Riley knows what he's doing as an executive. And I think they're an amazing franchise. And that's it's taken a long time to get there, but they are looked at as one of the model how to do it franchises. And they're really good. But I just think in the end, if they got to the finals, I would worry that the finals would be very lopsided for Denver. I just think that Boston-Denver would be an unbelievable series. And it's two teams that, I hate to use the term deserving, because Miami and the Lakers coming through the play-in, one is a 7, one is an 8, and getting where they are is fantastic. I just don't think they're as good top to bottom and haven't been as accomplished all season, certainly as Denver and Boston. So I am hoping for a Denver-Boston championship.
Fletcher Mackel's with us for a few minutes. Fletch, eventually injuries catch up to everybody. It's part of the game. No excuses. They've caught up to LSU baseball, especially in the bullpen, a little exposed the last few weeks. They did eke out a victory in extra innings at Georgia. They got to win that series, that's for sure. They've been sliding the last few weeks. That 13-4 Mississippi State implosion, how does that happen? How do you lose when you're up 13-4?
Yeah, that was a tough one to watch Sunday, but here's the spin I'm going to put on it for you. It has nothing to do with injuries, and it has nothing to do with talent. They are definitely slumping right now. Any pitcher not named Paul Skeens is slumping right now. But don't let anybody tell you and make excuses of injuries or make excuses about just anything that seems off base, if you will. If LSU isn't in the World Series, it's a monster letdown, and Jay Johnson deserves to go to the hot seat. And here's the thing. They're going to get there. And here's the reason why. They are definitely slumping. Look, like Dylan Cruz has been slumping recently from the hot start that he had.
Yep.
There's ebbs and flows in baseball. There's 56 games. We're banged up. We're injured. We lost guys. It's a bunch of BS. Because here's the thing. They have so much more talent than everybody else they play. Their 12th pitcher is better than most teams' number 2. Ty Floyd has stuff that would make him the ace on any team in the country. Jaden Coleman's stuff is crazy. Thatcher Hurd, who came in last night and threw 5 innings after blowing it and got the win, was in the rotation for UCLA. Like Christian Little was in the rotation for Vanderbilt. So some people try to tell me, boy, they lost a guy or two. It doesn't matter. The one thing I'll give Jay Johnson credit for is Jay Johnson isn't buying into that stupidity and the people that say that, because he knows in his heart of hearts, he out-talents everybody he steps on the field with. Like the kid that hit the home run last night, Pearson, he'd be batting 2nd through 5th on any team in the country. He's a part-time player for LSU. He hits the game-winning home run. Thatcher Hurd would be in the rotation for any team in the country. He's in the bullpen for LSU. So when people try to say it's injury, it's not. It's not. And again, if fans tell you that, just correct them and tell them it's not. They're slumping right now, but they're going to be fine. And if they're not fine, then Jay Johnson really did an awful job, and his pitching coach did an awful job at the end of the season. And I think Jay Johnson's a good coach. I think they have crazy talent, and I think they're going to end up in the World Series. But you're right. They are slumping recently.
Saints rookies, any knowledge gained?
Not really. I mean, the media got to watch for 30 minutes, and they were in shells, and it's a bunch of guys that showed up the day before. I mean, I'll say this. I like Jay Kaner, the quarterback at the Senior Bowl. We did a report on him, and he seems like a kind of guy who throws a nice pass, gets the ball out quick. But look, they're not tackling. They're not in pads. The running back Henry certainly passes the eyeball test. Brian Brzee looked like, I mean, it's like, is this guy an end or a tackle? How is this guy this big? I mean, so eyeball test, a lot of guys looked okay. Watching one practice for 30 minutes when the guy showed up the day before, I'm not sure we glean any real intel, except, sure, some of them looked good in pads, looked good out there in black and gold, not even in pads.
PGA Championship from Oak Hill. Do they really have 99 of the top 100 players in the world on that card?
I think they do, because they got some live guys that are there, and it's the top live guys. It's DeChambeau and it's Dustin Johnson, and it's the top live players that defected. And so as of right now, the majors are still taking those guys, like sort of the Masters. So yeah, I think it does have 99 of the top 100.
Yep, that's a good field. Fletch, always a pleasure, man. Thank you.
All right, coach.
That's Fletcher Mackel, Channel 6, WDSU Sports. Another edition of Fridays with Fletch. Coming up in a few minutes, we shift gears. Michael Hecht's going to join us from Greater New Orleans, Inc. Talk about some good economic news, hopefully. Corey Johnson with you. It is a Fantasy Friday edition of the program.
Our Humane May fundraiser is going on right now. In the month of May, we're trying to raise $10,000 for the Humane Society of Louisiana. Donate right now at humanela.org.
At Home Paint and Decorating, our paints are in it for the long haul. In fact, our top bench and more exterior paints come with a lifetime warranty. Not 25 years, not 50 years, we mean forever. You heard right. At Helm Paint, our top exterior paints have a lifetime warranty against chipping, peeling, and flaking. They also are mildew resistant. Imagine painting your home one time and being done with it. Visit any one of our locations today and make that once-in-a-lifetime purchase. Paint that has a lifetime warranty. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet. Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line. Lebanon's Cafe.
For us, it's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process of a custom-made piece, I have a test that says, if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
For Leidenheimer Baking Company, producing the perfect French bread is more than a vocation. It's a sacred mission. And for 5 generations, they've used the same time-honored process, baking their signature loaf with its crisp crust and delicate center, unique and still good to the last crumb. From the finest French Quarter restaurants to your local po' boy shop, for over 125 years, New Orleans' own Leidenheimer.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love. More. When you do something, you have to do it right. It's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center. It's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof. Now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Those might be some of the sounds that you'll hear over at Bayou Boogaloo, which apparently is cranked up. I thought 4:30 was the start. Fletcher Mackel just joined us live for his Fridays with Fletch segment, live from Bayou Boogaloo on Bayou St John at essentially Doc Francis Parkway by the American Can, Orleans, and the Bayou, essentially. Yeah, you're right. It is a Fantasy Friday. Woo! Friday. The weekend is upon us. Just what we've been waiting for, huh? Catch up on sleep, knock out some chores, knock out the exercise routine, do whatever you like. It's the weekend. Got that 5 o'clock whistle coming up in about 20 minutes or so. That's always a blessing. I love the 5 o'clock whistle. A little after 5 o'clock, recognizing that the work week is in the books and the weekend is in front of us. Hey, Michael Hecht's going to join us in a few minutes from Greater New Orleans, Inc. That segment each and every week brought to you by Leitrim, the global manufacturing giant. New Orleans born and based. A legendary New Orleans company, really since around the late 40s, early 50s, when J.M. Lapierre invented the shrimp peeling machine, which led to the all-plastic modular conveyor belt. These two items, the industry standard around the world. Leitrim continues to grow around the world. That means they continue to grow locally where they're based. You East Bankers and West Bankers, Leitrim welcomes you to their Elmwood campus. About 12, 13, maybe 1,400 employees there. North Shore folks, Leitrim welcomes you to their I-12 location where they're hiring. Dozens and dozens and dozens of positions listed on the website available. They've got a job for you at Leitrim. Leitrim.com. Leitrim spelled L-A-I-T-R-A-M. Go to the website right now, Leitrim.com. Each and every week when Michael Hecht joins us in a few minutes from Greater New Orleans, Inc., it's always brought to you by Leitrim. Yeah, we'll find out some good economic news. Hopefully, keep your fingers crossed for New Orleans and the region when Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans, Inc. joins us. Bill advancing in the legislature, House Bill 498. Violent crimes, mandatory minimum bail. Now, this is a counter to the woke judges and magistrates, almost strictly in Orleans Parish. This criminal first, citizen second mentality. Violent crime, mandatory minimum bail, $50,000 without a gun, $100,000 with a gun. Someone said you're putting a price on a crime. It's like, of course you are. That's exactly what bail and bond is. Exactly. Putting a price on it. 100%. The more heinous, the more violent, the worse the crime, the larger the bail or bond. That is exactly right. I swear, it's just mind-blowing, like these obvious, references of what's going on. And then like it's a problem. Just this woke mentality, this hyper left mentality. No, there's I'm trying to think of the judge. It's not Kimya Holmes. It's
I was about to say Angel Reese. It's Angel, was it White? Is that her name? The New Orleans judge, Angel White? I forget. Any luck on that, Jason? Yeah. Anyway, if you go to this judge's website, Angel Harris, thank you. If you go to Angel Harris, you can Google it right now. Angel Harris, Google it. It'll pull up like a website that's still active when she was running for office. It's more about criminals than citizens. It's more about worrying about the criminals. Look, I think life is about balance, and for me at least, listening to both sides, going where the facts lead me. I don't ignore. I'm not some, hardcore extremist on the right that's just put criminals in jail, period, end of story. It's a, cut and dried issue. I think when we have the highest incarceration rate in the country in Louisiana at times, we don't have time for that. We can't afford that. All these redneck sheriffs that are multimillionaires, this, for-profit jail system we have in Louisiana, it's obnoxious. It's a joke. Not solving any problems. No, we have that going on. I am for change. Police reform. I'm not for defund the police. I'm for police reform. I'm not for defunding the judicial system or the criminal justice system. I'm into reforming it. Always. So, no, I think you have folks on both sides. You have like the Angel Harris just like worrying about the criminal. And then you've got the extreme other side that doesn't worry about the criminal at all. Man, you commit the crime, do the time. Just that cut and dried mentality, which there's so many gray areas. That's why bail has different levels. It's all about a gray area. So, no, you have to be thoughtful. You have to be sympathetic. You have to be understanding. You have to be realistic. Citizens first, criminals second. No, this violent crime mandatory minimum bail is strictly because of these hyper woke judges and magistrates in Orleans Parish exclusively that just are insane. Could be 20, arrests and want to give them a 21st chance. One of the all-time greats in the NFL, Jim Brown, passing away at 87. NBA Eastern Conference Finals continue. TNT Game 2, the Heat in Boston again, where they lead the Celtics 1-0. Yeah, you right. Bayou Boogaloo cranking up as we speak. Mid-City, New Orleans. Next week, it's Greek Fest on the Bayou. We just don't stop in New Orleans. Festival City. Michael Hecht knows what that's all about. He's constantly promoting our city. He's from Greater New Orleans, Inc. He joins us live again on the program. What's happening, Michael?
What's up, KJ? How's your Friday?
It's going well, man. I was saying earlier, we're not Festival City, USA. We're Festival City, planet Earth.
I mean, it's amazing. So my wife has decided that what she wants to all of the festival queens. So we met the citrus queen down at Plaquemines a couple of weeks ago. Now the shrimp and petroleum queen and the fur queen.
You got Strawberry Fest, Tomato Fest is in a few weeks. It's like every week, sometimes multiple fests. I mean, you had French Quarter Fest going on while Strawberry Fest on the North Shore was going on. You'll have some years Zurich Classic while Jazz Fest is going on. Nobody does it better.
No, it's a mess. Look at the, we want to go to the Fête Louisiane in Lafayette. That's the first week of Jazz Fest, right?
Yep. No, I want to go to that international fest. I've never gone in my life to that, Michael.
I think it looks very cool. Beautiful food, beautiful people, beautiful music.
Yep. Hey, Breeze Airline launching a couple of flights today. New Orleans to LAX nonstop. That's always good. And Hartford, Connecticut nonstop.
Yeah, I mean, it's Breeze is a little sleeper airline. I would watch them. They've got fantastic pedigree from David Nealman, and they're going to slowly creep up, I think, on Southwest. And they've used us or using us as a hub, as one of their 4 hubs in the country. What they do is they fly point to point to underserved places. Now, LA, I didn't realize it was underserved, but I'm glad they're going there. You know, and it's kind of like if JetBlue and Southwest had a baby that arrived on time, that would be Breeze.
Boy, this Pseudo, I think is how it's pronounced. This pseudo hub with Breeze. You got to go back to like Taka days for us to be any kind of a hub, right?
Yeah, we haven't had a hub in a long time. And the thing about a hub is you don't just get more flights. You get what's called MROs, maintenance and repair operations. And those are good jobs. So Breeze is, keep an eye on them. I think they're going to become one of our most important airlines over the next 5 years, along with our fantastic legacy carriers and our internationals. You know, the British Airways flight continues to do really well. And, you know, we're talking to some of the others. And so the airport continues to grow. The biggest issue with the airport is going to be what we said from the beginning is going to be space. Probably the real, I know people criticize the flyover, and there are reasons why that happened that way, criticize the parking. The real issue, I think, is that it's probably going to end up being too small relative to our needs. And that's why the South Terminal is going to be a critical place. And, you know, we've talked about this from the beginning, Corey. We're going to end up having a Dulles, you know, type 2 terminals, and there'll be a people mover between the 2 of them. And that's how this thing is going to work.
No, I like hearing that. It's about time. That would be nice. Yeah, I'm greedy, Michael. What's the news on Air France? I think Houston has 67 or 69 nonstops a day to Mexico City. Can we just have one of those Houston nonstops? Middle East, Asia, South and Central America. I'm greedy.
Well, you know, one of the ones we're talking to is actually Turkish Airlines, because they've quietly become the airline with the most destinations in the world. Yep. They're using it as part of a national strategy, to be honest. They want to bump off the Emirates Airlines as the hub of Eurasia. And so that's not out of the question. Maybe I want to correct you on something, Corey. I don't usually do this because...
No. Well, you know what's great? We're going to have time to think about what you're correcting me on. I've got to take this break, Michael. Hang on. I want the correction coming up next. Michael Hecht's with us. Don't move, New Orleans.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Veterans Boulevard, where the brothers Fausto and Roland are serving some of the city's finest Sicilian and Italian cuisine. From New Orleans' first family of Sicilian and Italian cooking, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
For over 120 years, New Orleans' very own Leidenheimer French bread.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
At Helm Paint, we go the extra mile with free delivery anywhere in the metro area. In the middle of a job and short on paint? Call us and we'll come to you.
Short on time? Call in your order and pick it up in the drive-thru at our Earhart Boulevard location.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com. River Cities. Total maintenance keeps you cool, New Orleans. NOLAAC.com is your cool spot.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex, there's something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We're doing all makes and models. It doesn't have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Being a part of people's lives, from an engagement ring to a wedding band. Before you know it, the wedding day is here and groom and bride are exchanging gifts on that day. And not too long after that, there's baby gifts to have. And I just enjoy being part of other people's family, saying, Mr. Friend did my engagement ring and he did my mom and dad's engagement ring. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
Our Humane May fundraiser is going on right now. In the month of May, we're trying to raise $10,000 for the Humane Society of Louisiana. Donate right now at humanela.org. If you're tired of your dry cleaner and want to experience the best, youngsdrycleaning.com. 2 walk-up locations, free pickup and delivery. Manless locker locations all over the metro area. A New Orleans institution since 1940. 83 years of excellence. youngsdrycleaning.com. youngsdrycleaning.com. Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans Inc. was saying, I've got some criticism for you, Corey. I normally don't do this, but I'm going to because. So why are you doing it, and what's the criticism?
I'm doing it because I love you, Corey. That's the first thing you have to understand, that this is tough love, and it only comes from a place of goodness and amity. Okay, that's it. But here's the criticism, is that you said that you're greedy. And I don't think that you're greedy. You just have an imagination. You just have ambition for what this place can be. And that's not greedy. That's actually having a vision of us reaching our full potential. And more people need to have that, because the greatest poverty that we have in this state is not financial. It's poverty of imagination, imagining that we could and should be able to beat Texas across the board, that our kids could and should be able to stay here, that we could and should be able to have a direct flight to Mexico City. So no, you're not greedy. You're just imagining a possible future that needs to be imagined if we have any hope at all.
Yeah, I don't think we're a poor city or a poor state. I think we're a rich city. I think we're a rich city, and rich state just run poorly. I think that's the problem. And Michael, we're a world-class city. I mean, we know that. New Orleans is in song, and all kind of any country in the world you go to, there's stories and gossip and conversation about New Orleans. We have a reputation around the world. We're a true international city, a European masterpiece. No, we've failed for decades and decades. Bad politics, not caring. I don't know what it is, something in the water, but we should be like that. New York, San Francisco, Paris, London, Berlin, that kind of reputation around the world. Barcelona, we should be like that.
I agree, but it's the reason behind it is the curse of riches. It's just an economy and a place that was too blessed and got by for too long without having to do things the right way.
Yep.
And there's a lot of ruin in that. There's a lot of ruin. So we've been able to decline without going away for decades. And the reality is that because we're so special and people love us so much, we will never go away. We will be kept alive. We just won't reach our full potential. I mean, we would talk about this, Corey. There are two possible futures for New Orleans. Neither of them are oblivion, but one of them is a Nashville future. The other one's a Key West future. And the one depends on having a diversified, accessible economy, growing economy. The other one just depends on tourism.
Yep.
And so you can choose which one you want, but
no, one
only
could be a
of those
booming,
represents-
prosperous city. The other's going to be like a little boutique type city.
That's right. That's right.
Yep. Michael Hecht is with us from Greater New Orleans Inc., joining us on the program as usual. Hey, Michael, there was something I wanted to talk to you about specifically, and now I'm going blank.
Insurance, NOLA Coalition.
No, it's definitely those two, but it was something else. Maybe I'll remember it. Why don't we talk about insurance? What's the latest and greatest on that?
There is legislation going through in Baton Rouge that is going to incentivize or really force insurance companies to say how much of a discount they're going to give you for putting on a fortified roof, which will encourage homeowners. And also, that'll close loopholes that unscrupulous lawyers have been using to basically steal money from both homeowners and insurance companies. That, combined with other insurance companies coming in, means I think we'll begin to see some relief on the homeowners front, which is desperately needed. And then on the flood insurance front, we're also beginning to have impact in D.C. FEMA has admitted that they need to reassess how risk rating 2.0 is going. So I don't think that the insurance problem is going to go away completely, but I do think that we're going to soften the edges of it on both fronts. And then we also got to get an auto insurance. So it's a major issue. We have a lot of people right now who are seeing their insurance costs exceed their mortgage note, and that's not, that's upside down math.
You can't have flood insurance go up 6, 8, 10 times. It's just you can't go from $500 to $5,000 for flood insurance.
Or homeowners go from $3,000 to $11,000.
No, exactly.
That's not affordable.
No.
But so it's a crisis, but I think it's one that is to a fair degree manageable. So that's going to be one of our big focus areas coming through this session.
I remember what I wanted to ask you now, kind of a Fantasy Friday type topic. Got about 30 seconds, literally. When Charlotte messed up with the goofy law with the All-Star game, we swooped in there and grabbed that All-Star game. That was a nice little get. This is obviously a slightly different dynamic. With DeSantis and the Disney fight, and Disney announcing their $1 billion 2,000 employee campus is not going to happen now in Orlando. Do we go in there? Can you go in there and swoop that up?
Well, I think that, it certainly gives an entree to speak to them. I think the challenge in this, if we're being realistic about or what happened here, is that they probably decided they didn't want to do the Lake Nona development because it was an idea of the last CEO who got fired. And everybody's trimming, and then DeSantis gave them the perfect excuse.
Yep.
So always worth having the discussion because you always want to put your best foot forward and use any excuse to start the conversation. But my guess is that this was part of a bigger discussion for Disney.
There's Blue Boy barking. Michael, don't forget, go to humanela.org and donate to our fundraiser, humanela.org. Hey, next week, next week we'll talk about Startup St. Bernard, all right?
Love that. Have a great weekend, brother.
That's Michael Hecht saying right back at you. That's Blue Boy, humanela.org. Go get him, Blue Boy.
On TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
Hi, it's Ken Friend from Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Yes,
Come see us over on Maple Street in Uptown.
Friend & Company Fine Jewelers Breitling time, 5 p.m.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Leitrim family of companies located in Harahan. Interlocks, a Leitrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Interlocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Interlocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Leitrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center. It's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof. Now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Hi, this is Joey Helm. My dad, Bunky Helm, had a vision of a locally family-owned store serving the residential and commercial paint needs of New Orleans. I think Dad would be proud of today's Helm Paint and Decorating, and here's why. We have the best technical staff in the business, providing the best color matching service in Southeast Louisiana. Perfect matching for any color and any brand. And we'll save your colors so you don't have to save those old cans. Helm Paint offers free 2-hour delivery. Our in-store decorators will assist you on deciding what color and type of paint to best showcase your home. But most importantly, as your local independent Benjamin Moore dealer, our products provide the greatest value in the paint industry. Superior coverage, and Benjamin Moore paint simply covers better and lasts longer. New Orleans is a city of vibrant color, and no one else provides the paints of New Orleans like Helm Paint and Decorating. Visit any of our 6 locations or online at helmpaint.com.
Helm Paint, Helm Paint, let us do you right. Helm Paint and Supply.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson.
Did you have any problem with Angel Reese? There was a photo of her coming off the bus, holding the phone with the...
And that was a bunch of bull. That was Photoshop, that young lady. That's social media for you. How dare somebody do that?
No, I was wondering if it was Photoshopped or if it was real.
Well, you just got the real answer from somebody who was there.
It's Corey Johnson on the neutral ground, where New Orleans is heard.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
The French bread of the city of New Orleans. Good to the last crumb. Leidenheimer French bread.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot.
Being a part of people's lives, from an engagement ring to a wedding band. Before you know it, the wedding day is here and groom and bride are exchanging gifts on that day. And not too long after that, there's baby gifts to have. And I just enjoy being part of other people's family, saying, Mr. Friend did my engagement ring and he did my mom and dad's engagement ring. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Good times. Good times. Not getting hassled, not getting hustled. Keeping your head above water. Making a way when you can. Temporary layoffs. Good times. Easy credit ripoffs. Good times. Scratching and surviving. Good times. Hanging in the toilet. That isn't what they're saying. Hanging in a chow line. That's Florida Evans right there joining us. Or was that Walona? Is Mr. Booker? Nope. It was Drew Brees, number 9 from La Jolla, California. And this is, in fact, New Orleans. Corey Johnson back at you. A Fantasy Friday edition of the program, coupled with the fact that it's the 5 o'clock power hour. Holy smokes. 5 o'clock power hour on a Fantasy Friday. Doesn't get much better than that. Little bit after 5 p.m. The entire work week now in the books for most of us. A little bit after 5 p.m. The entire weekend, essentially, smack dab in front of us. We like recognizing this very time of the week, putting the spotlight on it. Smell the roses, as it were. We do this by blowing the 5 o'clock whistle. We do this by blowing the 5 o'clock whistle. 5 o'clock whistle brought to you by Katie's in Mid-City. Yeah, you right. Katie's, the quintessential New Orleans neighborhood restaurant. A taste of New Orleans, big portions, great for sharing. New Orleans specialties, old school. Lively neighborhood spot with pizzas and po' boys, as New Orleans as it gets. 5 o'clock whistle appropriately brought to you by Katie's. Why aren't you at Katie's right now? Iberville, corner Talamacus, in between Bienville and Canal Street, in between Carrollton and Doc Francis Parkway. Katie's in Mid-City. Don't forget about Francesca Deli and Pizzeria in Lakeview, another Scott Craig restaurant. The 5 o'clock whistle this afternoon brought to you by Katie's. Fantasy Friday. Our Humane May fundraiser continues all month long, trying to raise $10,000 for the Humane Society of Louisiana. That means we're trying to raise $10,000 for cats and dogs and kittens and puppies, goats, horses, trying to treat animals better in Louisiana because we've got a bad rep. Treating animals inhumanely, not caring, neglecting animals. We've got to do better. The Humane Society of Louisiana is trying to make us do better. Please donate. They need your help. They deserve your help. Please donate $10, $20, $50. Go to the website right now, humanela.org. humanela.org. We've raised only a little over $3,000 of our $10,000 goal. We are way off of our goal, nearly $7,000. And we're already about 2/3 of the way through the month. When we come back next week, there'll be about 10 days left in the whole fundraiser. Humane May, trying to raise $10,000 for the Humane Society of Louisiana. Please go to their website, humanela.org, and donate. humanela.org. You'll see me laying like on the sofa under a blanket with Blue Boy. Click on that. Then use your debit or credit card and donate. I think right away it has $35 up there. That'd be great. Donate that. You got to go less, go less.
Change the number. More, that'd even be better. $7,500, $150, $500. HumaneLA.org on this Fantasy Friday. Yeah, our Humane May fundraiser continues. Feels like about 93, 94 degrees right now. It's 88 degrees, 80-something% humidity. We have still not hit 90 on any thermometer in Metro New Orleans yet in 2023, but we are on the brink. Like today, 88 degrees. And for the third time this week, feels like 90-something. In the next 2 or 3 weeks, we're going to be over 90, and we're going to get days where it feels like 10 degrees hotter than now. Maybe summer at its peak could feel 15 degrees hotter than it feels right now. Instead of 93, feels like 108. That's coming. That's coming. Looking at the week and a half, 10-day forecast, I still don't see many 90s on there. So hopefully we can stick in the 70s and 80s. As long as we can hold out, the better. Bayou Boogaloo cranked up last hour. Friday night, they go till around 10 or 11. Tomorrow, they crank up around noon and go till 10 or 11. Sunday, same thing, around noon till 10 or 11. Bayou St John around Orleans, around Doc Francis Parkway by the American Can Company. Bayou Boogaloo underway. Greek Fest next week. I think Tomato Festival the week after that. The hits keep coming. Festival City, Planet Earth, New Orleans, ground zero for festivals. Boy, yesterday, Ed Michel joined us, the Office of Inspector General, the IG himself. The tire and rim upgrade for these police vehicles, a downgrade, really. What a great investigation. I want to know where the original tires and rims are. Could be as many as 80 tires, 80 rims. It's at least 64. It's 16 vehicles. Where Chevy or Ford, I think these are Tahoes, so GM, they put their police package. A lot of the time that means a larger oil pan, larger radiator, maybe bigger brakes, heavier duty suspension. And it's a heavier duty rim and tire package. Literally, these 16 vehicles, they changed the tires and rims for two reasons. One, a better ride for the policeman riding it, a better ride. And also, the higher ranking officers will have silver rims. The lesser ranking officers will have black rims. $42,000, about $3,000 upgrade per vehicle for absolutely no reason. Here's the worst thing. They may have changed the rims and tires, which could void the warranty on the vehicles, at least that part of the vehicle. And it's a lesser rated tire. It's a rim that is more cosmetic in appearance than physically tough as the number one priority. So you're going to have a bunch of scraped up, dented up rims. That's going to be a problem. Probably having to replace them because they're not as durable, as tough as the police issued original equipment rims. Now I want to know where the tires and rims, the original tires and rims, the tires that were rated at 150, 160 mile an hour instead of the ones rated that they put on at like 119, an inferior tire. I want to know where the original tires and original rims went. Because if they're not, all 64 aren't accounted for, someone within the NOPD at their physical plant where they do work on the vehicles stole 64 rims, 64 tires, sold them, kept them. What's the deal? Better still be in inventory. That's city property. The city's about to spend what? $65 million on new police vehicles? Do we need to spend $3,000 a vehicle to upgrade them? Great job by the IG. Thank God for the IG. Bill advancing in the legislature, violent crime, mandatory minimum bail. This is aimed at the woke and hyper-liberal judges and magistrates in New Orleans that worry about criminals first and citizens second with their low bail or bond. Violent crime, $50,000 without a gun, $100,000 with a gun. No, it's chickens coming home to roost. New Orleans with their ridiculous attitude. Baton Rouge levels got to come in and change the state law because of New Orleans. Hey, the 5 o'clock powwow this afternoon brought to you by Friend and Company Fine Jewelers. Like Ken Friend says, you have a friend in the jewelry business. Friend and Company Fine Jewelers on Maple Street in between Broadway and Carrollton. Real natural diamonds, 1 billion years old. Do you see, on billboards now, other radio, television commercials talking about real diamonds since I've been discussing this the last few months? Yeah, because lab-created, man-made diamonds that are 3 weeks old are flooding the market. And these diamond stores, these jewelry stores are ripping off the customers. Never at Friend and Company Fine Jewelers. You have a friend in the jewelry business. Real diamonds, natural diamonds on Maple Street in between Broadway and Carrollton.
Our Humane May fundraiser is going on right now. In the month of May, we're trying to raise $10,000 for the Humane Society of Louisiana. Donate right now at humanela.org.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets has daily lunch specials Monday through Friday, and their entire lunch menu is available too. Open 11 a.m. through 2:30 p.m. For the finest in Sicilian and Italian cuisine, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
Since 1896, a true taste of New Orleans. Leidenheimer French bread.
1970 was an exciting time in New Orleans. The first Jazz Fest was held, the city hosted its first Super Bowl, and the first Helm Paint location opened on Earhart Boulevard. While the floppy disks, mood rings, and pet rocks may have come and gone since the 70s, Helm Paint has grown to become your premier source for quality Benjamin Moore products, competitive pricing, and personal service. Please visit one of our locations today and we'll meet our competitors' prices on any identical product. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
For over 20 years, serving healthy, fresh, authentic Middle Eastern cuisine, Lebanon's Cafe. In the Carrollton section of Uptown on the streetcar line, Wednesday through Monday, 11 a.m. to 9:30. Lebanon's Cafe.
For us, it's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process of a custom-made piece, I have a test that says, if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend and Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
River Cities, total maintenance keeps you cool. River Cities, total maintenance keeps you cool. River Cities, total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot. River Cities, total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
When USA Today ranked the 10 best must-visit New Orleans restaurants for travelers, Mid-City's own Katie's made the list. USA Today says Scott Craig is chef-owner at Katie's, a much-loved Creole Italian eatery that draws armies of regulars for lunch, brunch, and dinner. A neighborhood spot where locals congregate and New Orleans-style hospitality rules. Indeed it does. Katie's in Mid-City.
Every day, this program on radio, television, YouTube, live streaming, KaareTalks.com. It's brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex, home of the big store, Lamarck Ford, #1 in the region, home of Lamarck Lincoln, #1 Lincoln dealership in the state of Louisiana. On the car corner, Williams Boulevard and I-10 in Kennebrae, right on the corner, right on the price, the Lamarck Automotive Complex. And now the legendary Ford truck dealership in Metro New Orleans, under the Lamarck umbrella, Lamarck Crescent City Ford on Jefferson Highway. Every day, this program brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex in Kenner. And now Lamarck Crescent City Ford on Jefferson Highway. Corey Johnson with you, a Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Let's go to the Riverbend, the Carrollton section of Uptown. Frank Brigtsen joins us from his restaurant Brigtsen's for nearly 40 years. How you doing, Frank?
Where you at, Corey? GGIF.
Where you at?
Yeah, he is.
You bees by the river.
Totally, man.
Boy, I had some crawfish and corn soup from Brigtsen's about a month ago. I had crawfish etouffee not once but twice at Brigtsen's in the last few weeks. You know how to do crawfish, Frank.
Thanks, man. We're enjoying the season as always. It's such a versatile product. You can go to your grocery right now and get fresh Louisiana crawfish tails. I mean, think of it as, jumbo lump crab meat. You get a pound of crab meat all picked for you. You can do so much with it.
Yep.
Same with crawfish. It's so versatile. And now's the time to get it. The price is right. The quality is excellent. And it's just one of my favorite products.
We're kind of winding down crawfish season, I guess, in the next few weeks.
Yes. They'll be available for a little bit longer. But what happens at the end of the season, Corey, is that, with live crawfish, the shells obviously get very hard. The crawfish are big, a little harder to eat. And then the crawfish tails themselves, there comes a point when they don't have that rich, buttery flavor from the fat. And that's where we stop on them. But right now, they're still very good.
Yep, so good. It's kind of amazing. We kind of get a 2-for-1 in Louisiana. A lot of these crawfish, I guess, were naturally in these rice fields, Frank, and then they figured out they could kind of do both things in the same spot, crawfish and rice in some instances.
Yeah, exactly. And when that came about, it gave rice farmers a double cash crop. And that really saved our industry and provided extra income for farmers. And there's something about rice fields. I don't remember the exact specifics, but there's something about some parasite or something in rice fields that has to be taken care of every year, and the crawfish take care of it. So,
nice.
Yeah, so it's a win-win. And I think that whole notion of crawfish farming in rice fields was developed by our wonderful Louisiana Agricultural Extension Service, which has done so much good work in our state and continues to today.
Frank Brigtsen's with us from his restaurant for a few minutes. We do it every Friday. Hey, Frank, just like the seasons, one fades out, one comes in. As crawfish fade out,
What takes its place?
Crab meat. I'm really, really looking forward to crab meat season. I'm hoping for more plentiful availability and a reasonable price, which is kind of foolish on my part. But I'm already thinking about crab dishes. I saw the first Creole tomatoes in the grocery today. They're not the ones I use, but my farmer should be popping up with them pretty quick. And when that happens, we'll add our Creole tomato salad with Fidelia onions and pesto balsamic vinaigrette. And then I also like to do a crab meat appetizer. It's called crab meat creoles. It's crab meat with a Creole mustard sauce set on top of a thick slice of Creole tomato. And I garnish that with pickled beets. So I really got a craving for that now. So we're in between the seasons, but it's coming for sure.
Frank Brigtsen's with us. Hey, Frank, there are lots of crawfish and shrimp dishes. Why aren't there like crab dishes as like an entree outside of like the full, crab, like a soft shell? I don't notice too many, crab meat dishes. Is it too rich? Is it why don't they have like crab dishes like shrimp and crawfish?
That's a really good question, Corey, and the answer is price. There's no doubt about it. We're currently paying $30-something for a pound of jumbo lump.
You might be. For the citizens, it's like $40, $50, $60.
Yeah, exactly. But I remember in the 70s, I happened to be over at the Court of Two Sisters restaurant. We had Chef Paul and another chef who was at Court of Two Sisters set up an apprenticeship program, and we would meet once a week. Each of the chefs had 8 or 10 young chefs would meet once a week and learn stuff, and that ultimately became the Delgado program. But we were over there at Court of Two Sisters, and there's two things I remember. Once Chef Roland took us into his walk-in freezer, which was huge. And there were these cardboard boxes lined up with space between them, and they were as big as a refrigerator. And he said, "These are all soft-shell crabs."
Wow.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, 40 dozen in every box or whatever. But at the time, Court of Two Sisters served an entree. There was a combination of shrimp St. Louis and crab meat something. And, at the time it was a very busy restaurant. And they couldn't cook it to order. They had to do it in batches and then hold it. And in order to maintain quality, he would tell the chefs, do not cook more than 40 pounds of crab meat at a time.
Wow.
I'm like, wow. I couldn't imagine.
That's insane
but,
amount of
you're right. There were dishes like crab meat au gratin, for instance, as an entree. I remember that.
The problem with like a fettuccine, like a crab meat Alfredo, it's sort of like a fettuccine Alfredo. I like it as like an appetizer or a side, but it's hard to eat fettuccine Alfredo as an entree. It's hard to eat crab meat au gratin as an entree, Frank.
Yeah, that's right.
It's kind of rich.
And what's been one of the most popular concepts in Creole cuisine forever is some kind of fish with crab meat on top.
Yep.
And there's so many great variations of that. And I think that's the way to use it, either as an appetizer or to garnish, complement a piece of fish.
I guess stuffed crab's about as close as we're going to get to an entree with crab meat.
Oh, man. Now you got me thinking more. We used to do, in the years past, we did a devil crab, stuffed crab in a shell as part of our seafood platter. And that devil crab stuffing is killer. We'll have to do that sometime this summer as well.
I've mentioned that pan roast at Manali's. I will get a large pan roast from Manali's, Frank,
and then I'll dump about 3/4 of a pound of crab meat into that because it's so rich. You can kind of almost smooth it out and then, really jack it up to another level with all that jumbo lump mixed in there.
That's a brilliant idea, and I love that dish. I love the sauce, and I love that type of dish, what I call a gratin. You don't see them too much anymore. We used to have some type of gratin on our menu all the time, usually oysters of some type. But I love that technique, a shallow stainless steel casserole dish.
Yep.
Like that oyster pan roast comes in, and then a little bit of breadcrumbs and cheese on the top and running under the broiler. I just love that technique and that texture. Gratin.
Irene's Cuisine in the Quarter, or Irene's restaurant now, Irene does a great crab meat au gratin with about 3 different types of cheese, all Louisiana jumbo lump. And it's in like one of those little, what do you call it? A tan, or what's the little, I guess it's like
maybe a ramekin.
Yeah, a ramekin. Yeah, it's like a glass, little 1-inch high.
Yes, and I love that.
Yep.
And I think it's just with crab meat, it's just so price prohibitive.
Yep.
When we do crab meat on top of fish, for instance, we get 8 orders to the pound, and that is $4 to $5 just for the crab meat food costs.
No, so you got to add $10-$12 to the fish cost for the consumer.
But I used to joke around in the kitchen, not here, but like at Cape Paul's and stuff. Back in the day, if a fish isn't selling, put crab meat on it, and sure enough, it would fly out.
Oh, you could put crab meat on a cinder block and it would sell.
Yeah, that's an old joke. But it's true. And, you got to think of crab meat as a delicacy because that's what it is.
Yep. Now we got the best of
everyday. It's not an everyday common thing. It's a delicacy and should be treated as such. It's so succulent and sexy, and it just makes everything better.
Plus, we got the best crabs in the world.
The best.
Hey, Frank, what are the crawfish dishes you have going right now as that season fades out for you?
Well, the main thing right now is as a sauce in our grilled fish for our seafood platter, Corey, is we have on the seafood platter, we have grilled redfish with a crawfish and pistachio lime sauce. The pistachios and lime zest and lime juice are blended, pureed into a butter to create a compound butter. So we saute the crawfish, add a touch of stock, and then finish it with this pistachio lime butter. And that's an amazingly good combination. And that's on top of the grilled redfish on the platter, along with crawfish cornbread, which we do in a ramekin, baked to order. So it comes out piping hot. And when it comes out of the oven, we cut a little slit on the top and insert a disc of jalapeno smoked corn butter.
Wow.
And that cornbread is just out of this world.
Yummy.
And then also on the seafood platter, you'll get a jalapeno shrimp coleslaw, a taste of that, a baked scallop on the half shell with herb set cream, spinach, and shaved Gruyere cheese on top. And a little thing I call baked oyster fortuna, which is diced shrimp, crab meat sauteed with onion, celery, and bell pepper, finely chopped. And then I put it in a bowl and blend it with olive oil and a little bit of breadcrumbs to tighten it up. And that goes on top of the baked oyster.
Wow.
So you're getting a little bit of everything on that seafood platter. And that's been selling really well. The other two big sellers this week have been our pork chop. Has been flying out of the window. A really tender, juicy pork chop, pan roasted to order, and served with mashed potatoes and pork debris sauce, which is a rich pork gravy. That's been hugely popular this week. And also the broiled fish. Tonight it's flounder fillet.
Wow.
Topped with a crab meat crust. Served with a lemon crab sauce, a velouté sauce, and garnished with asparagus, mushrooms, and leeks. and that's always popular. So that's what's been going on this week. We're seeing a lot of Tulane people, graduation week.
Yep.
Mom and dad are coming in with the sons and daughters to celebrate. And I love that time of year. It's just it's a big thing for these young people.
Yep.
And they deserve to celebrate the joys in life.
Frank Brigtsen's with us for just a couple of more minutes at his restaurant in the Riverbend. Hey, Frank, did you swap out the chicken and andouille gumbo for the seafood gumbo?
Oh, yeah. Thank you for reminding me. We sure did. We have seafood gumbo right now, seafood okra gumbo with andouille, shrimp, and oysters. We do that as the warm weather moves along. Fresh okra will be showing up very soon, along with the Creole tomatoes. They come hand in hand. So we changed it up. And for our gumbo, of course, we cook the shrimp and oysters to order. When you order a cup or bowl of gumbo, we take down a skillet and poach the shrimp, add the oysters, let them just curl and warm up, and we put that in the bowl with your seafood okra gumbo broth.
Wow.
So it's freshly cooked and a little bit of jasmine, aromatic rice. So that's something, we probably do that 2 months out of the year, maybe 3. So if you like seafood gumbo, come get a load of this. You can get that to go as well. Takeout available. Just give us a call, and Miss Martin will take care of you.
861-7610. The phone number at Brigtsen's is 861-7610. Any openings tonight or tomorrow night, Frank?
Things are kind of in flux because of the graduation folks. Plans change as they get into the evening. So give Miss Martin a call and see if she can do something for you. Don't hesitate. And it's a nice, warm day in New Orleans. I can't wait to get back in the hot kitchen.
Frank, always a pleasure, brother.
Thank you, Corey. Have a lovely weekend, everyone. Enjoy yourselves. Summer's coming.
It is. We're right on the brink of it. That's Frank Brigtsen from his restaurant, 861-7610. Brigtsen's, 861-7610. Put that phone number in your phone. Brigtsen's is so good. No, blessed to have Frank Brigtsen joining me on the program each and every Friday afternoon for a few minutes. When you go into Brigtsen's, it'll be Leidenheimer French bread for over 125 years, 5 generations, family owned and operated, still baking that Leidenheimer French bread right here in New Orleans proper, in the city. And yes, it's being served in the city's finest restaurants. The po' boy you're probably enjoying on Leidenheimer French bread, good to the last crumb. Since 1896, New Orleans owned Leidenheimer French bread, Leidenheimer Baking Company, still doing it in the city, part of the fabric of the city, Leidenheimer. Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Corey Johnson with you on a Friday. Our Humane May fundraiser going on right now. Please go to the website, humanela.org, and donate. We're trying to save animals that are suffering, that are being treated inhumanely in Louisiana. We can do better. Jeff Dorson, the Humane Society of Louisiana, getting the job done, but they can't do it without your help, without your donation. humanela.org. $10, $20, $50. Go to the website right now, humanela.org. We're about 2/3, almost 70% of the month in the books. We've raised like 30-something hundred. So we're like halfway. Instead of about 7,000 raised right now, we're about halfway there. But time-wise, we should be at about 7,000. So we're way behind pacing. We really need your help to hit our $10,000 goal. humanela.org. Please go to the website right now and donate. Corey Johnson with you. One of the all-time greatest in NFL history. I mean, you could argue the greatest player in NFL history, and he's not a quarterback. You definitely could argue greatest running back in NFL history. Definitely top 5, top 10 player, Jim Brown.
Just a beast. Jim Brown. Now, I'm not trying to compare Billy Cannon to Jim Brown, but Billy Cannon's a relatable person from Baton Rouge, played for LSU, played pro ball from Louisiana. Like Billy Cannon, Jim Brown was today's size, today's speed, today's quickness, all of that framed like a today running back 50 years ago. 50 years ago. Like Jim Brown was bigger than some lineman on the offensive or defensive line. And he was a finesse player. So it was just like a rarity. It's like Oscar Robertson playing the point guard in the NBA back then, just 6'8", 6'9", just unheard of. That would have been a post player, not someone in the front court. It's the same thing with Jim Brown. Would have been a defensive lineman, offensive lineman. That size, but so quick, so fast, so athletic, just incredible. Great hands, understood the game, smart, worked hard, dedicated, and insane God-given talent, and that size, speed, quickness factor of today's players 50 years ago. So, yeah, there was a reason Jim Brown dominated because we often talk about different eras. I just mentioned offensive lineman size. Folks will talk about like the Green Bay Packers and Lombardi. It's like Jerry Kramer was 250 pounds, Jerry Kramer couldn't be anywhere near an NFL offensive line today. And he's a Hall of Famer. So different eras, you can't compare a Jerry Kramer on Green Bay's offensive line to offensive lineman today. But Jim Brown, he could have played today. Size, speed, quickness. Yeah, one of the all-time greats, Jim Brown, passing away at 87 years old. NBA Eastern Conference Finals resume. Game 2 on TNT. Miami leads Boston 1-0. They'll do it again in Beantown. TNT, 7:30 tonight. The Lakers are down 2-0 to Denver over on the western side. Hey, are you on the causeway right now? It's Friday. Why don't you do the family right? Fire in a big to-go order at Trey Yen. They got curbside delivery. You just drive right up that half circle in front of the restaurant under the cover. They'll walk it out to you. 985, the area code. 626-4476. Trey Yen in Mandeville. 626-4476. Yeah, get a big to-go order at Trey Yen in Mandeville. Or better yet, dine in. North Shore folks at the foot of the causeway. South Shore folks, 25 short minutes from Lakeside Mall. Don't forget the Tong Cho sauce. So good. Trey Yen in Mandeville.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville, the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com. Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Veterans Boulevard, where the brothers Fausto and Roland are serving some of the city's finest Sicilian and Italian cuisine. From New Orleans' first family of Sicilian and Italian cooking, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
When a young man comes in and they walk into our store and you can see they're a little intimidated. Last week, I saw the young man. I said, "Hey, what can I do to give you a hand?" He said, "Well, I'm here for an engagement ring, but I don't think I'm in the right place." So I got him to my desk, and within an hour, he had purchased an engagement ring, had spent $1,000, and he was treated like he spent a lot more, and I'm sure we have a customer for life. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
For Leidenheimer Baking Company, producing the perfect French bread is more than a vocation. It's a sacred mission. And for 5 generations, they've used the same time-honored process, baking their signature loaf with its crisp crust and delicate center, unique and still good to the last crumb. From the finest French Quarter restaurants to your local po' boy shop, for over 125 years, New Orleans' own Leidenheimer.
Producing tomorrow's talk radio today, Corey Johnson.
This is tomorrow's newspaper. Precisely. I already went further ahead into time to see what else happens.
Your View, Louisiana. That's Cox Channel 4 in New Orleans, Baton Rouge, and Lafayette. And live streaming at CoreyTalks.com.
Future. Unbelievable.
Hi, everyone. It's Tommy Wrong for AsbestosMoneyGrab.com. This is not, I repeat, not for folks with real asbestos problems. But if you're like me and were maybe taking a shop class in high school where you maybe breathed in some brake dust and you know for certain you're fine, but you're the type of person that takes advantage of these types of situations, get tested, lawyer up, and steal some money like me. Go to I'm not really hurt at all, but like exploiting the system for free cash.com.
Which Metro New Orleans area restaurant made CNN's top 50 in America and ThrillList.com's top 25 and has served presidents at the White House for over 40 years? Trey Yen in Mandeville.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Leitrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Leitrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Leitrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Our Humane May fundraiser is going on right now. In the month of May, we're trying to raise $10,000 for the Humane Society of Louisiana. Donate right now at humanela.org.
Yeah, you right. Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Corey Johnson back at you. Malcolm X, born on this day in 1925. Malcolm X. What an interesting character, part of the fabric of the United States of America. And I would say, especially the latter part of his life, a great American and righteous person. Ran from Elijah Muhammad and that black Muslim party, the racist party that basically killed him. Louis Farrakhan, those jokers. Elijah Muhammad impregnating 15, 16-year-old girls when he's like 60 years old. Just ridiculous. Started his own mosque. Got more dedicated to the Muslim religion. Realized what it was worldwide. Not just black folks being Muslim. Embraced everybody. No, a righteous person and civil rights leader for America, especially in his later years. Malcolm X, born on this day in 1925. Learn about him. Google him. Read about him. Check out the biography, the autobiography. Good books on Malcolm X and an amazing life. I mean, part of the fabric of America. Hey, Fausto's Italian Bistro opened their doors about 45 minutes ago for the night. Since it's Friday, they'll go till 10 p.m. tonight. Dine inside in the dining room. Sit at the bar. Check out some NBA playoff action. Or starting around 7:30 when the weather kind of gets a little less hot and humid, outdoor dining tonight at Fausto's. It's comfortable. Tablecloths outside. Some of the city's best Sicilian and Italian. You won't be disappointed. Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets. Just really, really good. Hey, if you missed the 4 o'clock hour, you missed Fletcher Mackel from Channel 6. You missed Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans, Inc. If you missed the beginning of the 5 o'clock power hour, you missed Frank Brigtsen, chef from Brigtsen's Restaurant. He joins us every Friday, as does Fletcher Mackel, as does Michael Hecht. Bayou Boogaloo cranking up. Bayou St John at Orleans, Bayou St John at Doc Francis Parkway, by the American Can Apartments. Bayou Boogaloo going till about 10 p.m. tonight. They'll go tomorrow like noon to 10 p.m., Sunday noon to 10 p.m. Bayou Boogaloo 2023 underway. Greek Fest next week, just on the lakeside of Bayou St John. They've been at it like 45 years. I think the week after that's like Tomato Festival. No, the hits just keep coming. We know how to do festivals. We don't stop. It's fantastic. Hey, crawfish season winding down. Why don't you get to your neighborhood Rouses? They got you covered in two ways. First off, it's fresh Louisiana crawfish. And the two ways they have you covered, you want to boil them yourself? They got them live by the sack. South Louisiana crawfish, ready for your crawfish boil, live by the sack at each and every Rouses. You don't want to boil them. You just want to eat them. You want to consume them. Hot from the pot, steaming hot, ready to eat crawfish from each and every Rouses. And this is Rouses Market. South Louisiana, home of Thibodeau, New Orleans folks. They know how to boil crawfish. They've been doing it for decades, for generations. Hot from the pot, ready to eat, steaming hot, boiled crawfish from Rouses, and live by the sack, ready for you to take them to your house, to your place, and boil them. Best quality, best price, best selection. Tastes like home. Rouses Markets.
Our Humane May fundraiser is going on right now. In the month of May, we're trying to raise $10,000 for the Humane Society of Louisiana. Donate right now at humanela.org. Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, some of the city's finest lamb chops and shish kebab, Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Hi, this is Joey Helm. My dad, Bunky Helm, had a vision. a vision of a locally family-owned store serving the residential and commercial paint needs of New Orleans. I think Dad would be proud of today's Helm Paint and Decorating, and here's why. We have the best technical staff in the business, providing the best color matching service in Southeast Louisiana. Perfect matching for any color and any brand. And we'll save your colors so you don't have to save those old cans. Helm Paint offers free 2-hour delivery. Our in-store decorators will assist you on deciding what color and type of paint to best showcase your home. But most importantly, as your local independent Benjamin Moore dealer, our products provide the greatest value in the paint industry. Superior coverage, and Benjamin Moore paint simply covers better and lasts longer. New Orleans is a city of vibrant color, and no one else provides the paints of New Orleans like Helm Paint and Decorating. Visit any of our 6 locations or online at helmpaint.com.
Helm Paint, let us do you right. Helm Paint and Supply.
Hey y'all, it's Junket Cantrell, Mayor, City of New Orleans. We've decided to hold a contest where you can decide where I go next on my taxpayer finance vacation. I was thinking about Acapulco, but that's in the Western Hemisphere, and we can do a lot better than that. Think Europe, Asia, maybe even the Middle East. You know, if it's safe. You don't want old Junket Cantrell getting hurt. It's all about my vacation, having fun and spending the city's money on my entertainment. I'll be flying first class, of course, and I'll be bringing some administrative flunkies with me. It should only cost the city around $30,000, maybe $40,000. Help me pick my next city finance vacation. Go online, Cantrell Junket at cityofno.gov. And have a feast day.
Rouse's Markets means convenience. Every one of our 65 locations opens at 7 a.m., some at 6:30, and they're open until 10 p.m., with some staying open till 11 or even midnight. Convenience. Rouse's Markets. Tastes like home.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamarck team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamarck Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Ooh la Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh la Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
Served in New Orleans' finest restaurants, Leidenheimer French bread.
Being a part of people's lives, from an engagement ring to a wedding band. Before you know it, the wedding day is here, and groom and bride are exchanging gifts on that day. And not too long after that, there's baby gifts to have. And I just enjoy being part of other people's family, saying, Mr. Friend did my engagement ring, and he did my mom and dad's engagement ring. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Come on down to New Orleans' own Bourbon Street, the toilet of the Crescent City. Literally. Need to urinate? Pee right on one of the historic buildings. Need to vomit? It's okay. Throw up right in the street. Bourbon Street. Prostitution, drugs, strip joints, daiquiri shops, and trinket stores. The toilet of the Crescent City. Come on down. It's Bourbon Street.
The truth hurts, huh? Have you heard any New Orleanian anywhere at any level discuss reimagining Bourbon Street? We just throw in the towel here. That's how it is. It's never going to change. And we sort of embrace that loser, second-rate mentality. Bourbon Street is like the oyster, the pearl of the oyster. You know, the heart of the French Quarter, and it is a dump. We should reimagine Bourbon Street. Fade out the strip joints, fade out the daiquiri shops, the big-ass beer, trinket stores, crap like that. Music clubs, jazz clubs,
cafes with, outdoor sidewalk dining, that type of thing. Lit up, bright. Get Royal Street and Bourbon Street connected with the side streets, police presence. Get a totally different type of tourist in there at a totally different monetary level. Because right now, there's a reason locals don't go to Bourbon Street. It's terrible. It is a toilet. I got a guy right here joining us on the program, has no interest in Bourbon Street. What's that, Boo Boy? It's filthy, and as a dog, you don't want to be walking down that street in your bare paws. I hear you, buddy. That's a good call. Hey, New Orleans, thanks so much for joining us on this Fantasy Friday. Have a great weekend. See you Monday, 4 p.m.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
Hi, it's Ken Friend from Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business. Come see us over on Maple Street in Uptown.
Friend & Company Fine Jewelers, Breitling time, 6 p.m.